talk a lot about shadow work. What is shadow work in practical terms, and why do so many people avoid it, even when you think they really need it?
Okay, so shadow work is essentially the process of making the unconscious conscious. So we all have a shadow self. It's the unconscious self. And the way that the shadow self is created is in moments of trauma, which is a distress that cannot be resolved in the moment. And when the stressful event happens, essentially, in order to cope with the distress in the moment, our consciousness, our psyche fragments, okay? So let's say you were quite young and you came home and you wanted to show something to your mom. You're really excited to show something to your mom. You're like, wow, look at this, look what I made. And she's really critical, like she's really dismissive of you. That's not resolved in the moment. No one came and told you, hey, it's okay. You know what? That's amazing what you did. You're so clever. No one resolved that for you in the moment. So your psyche tries to resolve that for you by creating a fragmentation. And this is how the shadow self starts to be born. So in that moment, the part of you that's hurt, the part of you that feels harshly criticized, the part of you that feels like they're not enough, that part gets pushed into the dark, into the shadow. But not only that, a protector part is also born at the same time. And the protector part's role is to protect the shadow aspect from ever getting hurt like that again. So in this example, somebody who's harshly criticized by their mother, they have that part of them that maybe feels like what they do is never good enough. They might have a protector aspect of their personality who's a perfectionist. I see so many perfectionists, and this is like the nuanced stuff, how perfectionism comes about. It's actually a protective identity trait.
So they don't get criticized again.
So they don't get criticized again, because if I'm perfect, then nobody can criticize me. And that means I'm finally enough.
Wow.
And we have, not to freak you out, but we have hundreds of these parts. Every single person has hundreds of these aspects within them, except maybe the enlightened masters. And so, like another example of a shadow part, just to give you a variety here, could be somebody who was really expressive as a child and they used to, like, I don't know, perform Britney Spears concerts for their family and in public. And they thought they were amazing. They literally thought they were Britney Spears until somebody made fun of them. So in that moment, that wasn't resolved. Nobody said, no, you are Britney Spears, you're amazing. So the fragmentation happens and the part of them that's expressive gets repressed because there's shame around their expression. And then there's a protector aspect born who's shy and quiet and doesn't speak up and people pleases and doesn't speak their truth. So we have all of these nuanced experiences. And like I said, it doesn't have to be big events. It can just be moderately distressing events that we didn't have the tools to deal with in the moment. That creates these splits within our being. So then we have this whole shadow self that's deeply unconscious. We are not aware of it. Okay, unconscious shadow, that means removed from the light of consciousness, removed from our awareness. But we have all of these protector aspects. Those form our dominant personality. Those are the expressed. We have the repressed, which is the shadow. The expressed is the protector. Those are parts of your identity and who you think you are, but you don't realize that you're in an identity maybe that is self-soothing. And so you might be going throughout life and you don't feel the need to do shadow work. You don't know why it's important until maybe you set a goal and your perfectionist, for example, is standing in the way of that goal. They're really slowing you down. You can't get anything done. You're in your head. You're overthinking. You're shut off from your creativity. And you're like, why am I like this? Why do I need to obsess over a presentation for 4 months? Why can't I just send it or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Then it's time to look within and start to look at the shadow. And the reason people don't want to look at it is because it's painful. So it's quite a deep reason why it's painful. I mean, it's painful because it was stored with pain, first of all. If it was stored with pain, it needs to come up with pain. When you face it, it's going to be painful. But the other reason why it's painful is because of the kind of judgment we have towards these parts. They're not parts that are societally acceptable. That's why we repress them. So we're very...
They look ugly to others.
Exactly. So we're very relationally dependent species. And so anything that's shameful or not approved by the masses, we typically repress that. So it's the insecure, the ashamed, the angry, the bitter, all of those, they get pushed into the shadow. So oftentimes we don't feel safe looking at that stuff. We don't want to admit it's part of who we are because fundamentally, actually, we think it's going to disconnect us from people around us if we accept that this is part of who we are. But the opposite is true. Because if this stuff is within you, it's distorting your frequency, it's disconnecting you from yourself.
You're out of alignment.
You're out of alignment. And if you're disconnected from yourself, then you can't be connected with others to the level that you could be.
So what is the darkest shadow self part of yourself that you had to overcome? And what was the thing that caused you to kind of hold on to that shadow self?
For me, I'm with the masses on this one. They're not good enough.
Like criticize?
Yeah, for me, it wasn't more, I wasn't criticized. It was more that I felt like I didn't matter for my early years. Typically,
did anyone ever say you don't matter?
No.
Isn't that interesting? It's like we feel we're not enough. No one loves us. I have no friends. I'm not likable, whatever it is. But probably no one ever said that. I mean, maybe there was some bully kid that said like, no one's going to be your friend or whatever, but probably our parents never said you don't matter.
No.
Right?
Exactly.
But that's something you felt. You felt I don't matter.
Yeah. Well,
how did that show up for you then?
So even if someone directly doesn't tell you you're not enough or whatever else, our child brains, they don't have the capacity to take in the full big picture. So a child, for example, that's growing up in a family where there's a lot of conflict, they can't take into account that their parents maybe are flawed and that they have their own problems, because when you're young, you look to your parents for survival.
Yeah.
You literally think that your parents are God when you're young. Like everything they say, you're like, yes, because it's a survival mechanism. And so if something is wrong with them or off, or there's just something wrong in general, the default response in a child's brain is there must be something wrong with me. It feels safer, weirdly enough, than to say there must be something wrong with this caregiver who I'm depending on for my survival.
Really?
Yeah. So we say there must be something.
You can't say mom and dad are messed up. Like they're really screwed up.
No, you don't do that.
Because then you're screwed.
Exactly.
You're like, well, if they're screwed, then I'm not safe, right? It's like, so I'm messed up.
Because in a weird way, it gives you a sense of control. Because if there's something wrong with me, maybe there's something I can do to be good enough and fix the situation.
Interesting. Maybe if I perform better, or if I'm more joyful, or I can sing better, or if I can get straight A's, then it's going to fix the problem.
Exactly.
But usually it never fixes the problem.
No. And what it does is it creates this part of you that doesn't feel good enough. And it creates these beliefs that you're not good enough when that was never actually the case. It was never actually true. It was just your perception at the time.
Isn't that interesting how our brains as kids and most of our adolescent life just perceive something without someone actually saying it? But it's not the truth. We just perceive it as real.
Yeah.
Now, there might be part of this, like, oh, there was a disturbance in the house and it didn't feel settling and it was never resolved. Or we just swept things under the rug or whatever. Whenever mom came home or dad came home, we didn't say certain things. Otherwise, they were going to get angry. Like, sure, but man, it's like, it's so fascinating that so many people, we just, our brains think this certain way instead of thinking be do have, like the order of creation, or like, oh, this is just a little problem they're having. Nothing is wrong with me. I'm fine. Like you're saying we were born whole, but no one actually believes that.
Yeah.
Unless they were told it over and over again. And anytime there was a disturbance, your parents came down and said, Mommy and Daddy love you. Nothing is wrong. Like we're just doing, this is life sometimes. But that doesn't happen for 99% of people.
No. And the eye contact, all the little stuff as well.
How much eye contact should parents be having with their kids on a daily basis for them to feel more securely attached?
I don't have a statistic.
Yeah.
I wish I
That's
did.
interesting. Is it like minutes? Is it 20 minutes, seconds? Like, I don't even know what that is.
I can't remember the exact number, but
I should look that up. Because
I know you're a parent.
I've got, twin girls, 7 months old, and I'm like, and I will hold them and stare them in the eyes. And
Until you freak them out.
Well, I've been doing that already. I mean, but they're not going to engage. They might be looking at me for 20 seconds, but then they're like looking around and playing or doing whatever. So, but I'm really trying to like just stare into their soul because I'm also just fascinated by the miracle of life and creation. I'm like, how did this even come from us? It's a miracle of how it's even possible. So, I'm just like in the awe and wonder of it all while connecting with them. So, but yeah, I need to figure that out.
I love that. Well, I don't think you need to worry too much. I mean, there's no perfect parenting handbook.
No, I need to be perfect. I can't mess them up. No, I'm just kidding.
That could create its own problems, however.
Exactly. I need to be perfect every day.
Yeah. I need to get it all right. Well, I don't think you need to worry about it because you've done inner work, right? So if I were to give someone, I'm not a parent yet, but if I were to think about what I could give someone as a parenting handbook, it would be like, work on yourself and heal your own stuff, because that's really what you're going to pass on.
And healing's a journey. healing's a journey. It's not like you're going to be perfect consistently. You're never going to be perfect. And it's going to be an ongoing journey of coming back into your true self, when you feel triggered or feel a response to something, finding a way to feel that peace, that wholeness again, and not fall back into the shadow self that can come out from time to time.
To answer your question from earlier,
yes,
it was like a 2-part question and answer in my mind. So my shadow part of
criticism, is that what it was?
Not feeling like I mattered, not feeling good enough. That was a really core one for me. And sometimes when you have a core one like that, like a really core wound, that can create multiple protector parts, not to freak anyone out or
so what was that?
Hard work.
What was that for you then?
So for me, the first thing it caused was me to attract relationships where I wasn't treated well, right?
Because you didn't feel like you mattered, so you didn't deserve a relationship of love and...
Exactly. So that was the first kind of layer. And then I started to realize, okay, this is coming from within me because of certain things that happened and I didn't feel like I had the support that I needed when I was younger. So that was the first layer. But then as I kept growing, more came out of this, where when I started on YouTube, this was one I didn't expect. When I started on YouTube, I posted a couple of videos and then I started sabotaging. I couldn't post anymore. And I was like, what is going on? I felt terrible. I felt insecure. I felt inadequate. I was like, why can't I create? What is up with me? And I sat down with myself. I resisted it for months, which is what you do when you feel bad. You resist it. And then I was like, okay, I need to lean into this and figure out what's going on. So I sat down and I realized that there was a part of me, and this is where shadow work is hard. It can be really ugly to look at sometimes. There was a part of me, a little part of me, that wanted my first couple of YouTube videos to go viral because that would mean that I'm finally good enough.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so it was going back to that same thing. So I had to sit with that part and go, hey, look, you can get 100 views and you're still good enough and da-da-da. Release that part. And for me, perfectionism as well was linked to that. So that's something I had to work through with that as well. But the real keys I want to give people, and like the real nugget that I want people to go away with, is the fact that you can heal this stuff. You absolutely can heal this stuff. And it doesn't have to define you for your whole life. Mm-hmm. And in fact, there's a lot of freedom on the other side of facing and integrating this stuff.
Yes. So when you started to self-sabotage, like it sounds like for a decade, you were wanting to be on YouTube and creating videos and putting yourself out there, but something stopped you. Mm-hmm. And then you finally are like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take action. And then you do a few videos. And then all of a sudden you say, actually, I'm not getting the response I wish I would have gotten. I thought that a bigger response would have made me feel better. It's not making me feel better. So now I stop. I'm giving up, essentially. What did you have to let go of from that time of self-sabotaging and stopping into restarting again and committing to the process, no matter what the outcome would be?
I had to let go of the part of me that wanted me to blow up on YouTube so that I would finally feel special and good enough. I had to talk to that part of me and let her know, hey, you are special and good enough. Even if you get 100 views, that's fine. So I worked with her and she calmed down.
How does that look like when you're working with the part of yourself that doesn't feel enough? Are you staring in the mirror? Are you journaling? Are you meditating and having a conversation with yourself? What does that look like?
Journaling is the best place to start, in my opinion. And if you don't journal, just start journaling because it will open up your awareness so much. Journaling or meditation is really good. So facing these parts of yourself, it starts with admitting that you don't feel good, that there's something wrong. You admit it. You stop resisting it. You go, okay, I feel insecure. Okay, I feel triggered. Okay, I feel anxious. Okay, whatever. And one thing that I say to people when they're in this phase of resistance is to just kind of turn within, whatever it is that's coming up, just say 3 times, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Because that gets you to accept it and stop fighting it. If you're resisting something, if you're judging something, you will never understand it. You can't be in judgment and understanding at the same time. If you don't understand it, you can't integrate it. So you have to accept it first. Stop judging it, accept it. It's happening. It doesn't mean it's okay. It means you're actually going to start the process of releasing it. So accept it first of all. Then you want to just observe it and start to name it. What is this feeling? Where does this live in my body? How does it feel in my body? Start identifying it. And then you want to tune into what part of me does this correspond to? And that's where, if you're doing it in a meditative state, you can tune into your body and feel into where this is in your body and like pull that part of you out and look at them. You might notice it's the 5-year-old version of you. You might notice it looks like a crazy goblin or something, whatever it looks like. Or if you're in a journal, you might start to get certain traits or characteristics or a time frame of when this version of you was born. You don't even need to know exactly when you're doing shadow work, by the way. You don't need to know, okay, this was the 5th of December, 19... No, you don't need to know exactly. But you want to start getting awareness as to what this part of you is and what's wrong with them, really. What are they feeling? And then, and this is the key point, as soon as you feel you've connected and you become aware, okay, what this is, what part of you it is, you let that part of you vent. You let them speak. You let all the emotions come up.
Get it out.
Get it out. So for me, like me getting rid of this I'm not good enough thing, that was with me for years. I had many moments where I had to sit down and I had to cry and I had to scream and I had to be angry and let all of that stuff out of my system that was connected to that part of me, because that is the release. And sometimes when you do this, the things that part of you are saying are not things that you would consciously ever say. So I had a time where I had really bad imposter syndrome. You have to be okay with that. Yeah. I had times where I had really bad imposter syndrome.
Don't do it around other people. Do it in the pillow or do it by yourself.
Make sure you're in a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. But I had this imposter syndrome part of me before, back in my previous business, where I set a boundary and I was really triggered. And this was after I started doing shadow work. So I was like, okay, what is this? Why are you triggered? And I went into it and I went into the part of me that felt triggered. And she was saying things like, you're just a stupid girl. Nobody respects you. And me, whole me, would never say that. I knew better than to say that, right? I know the power of my words. You were saying this out loud. I was saying it in my journal.
Okay.
And I would say it in like a meditative state. You can say it out loud as well.
Yeah.
I was with my boyfriend at the time and he was in the other room. So I was like, right, I'll just do this. But, you know, I just let her. I didn't judge what she was saying. This is kind of the key energy you want to be in. You're in the compassionate observer. And even if it's something you would never say or express, there's a part of you that needs to express that. You'd be shocked at the stuff that would come out.
Wow.
So for her, she had to get all of this out, like, you're just a stupid girl, da da da. And then I started to realize, oh yeah, this was coming from this time that I was made to feel like a stupid girl at a meeting. And that's why this part of me exists. And I get it. Because once that part of you then is finished venting and releasing and purging, then you know, then you understand it, then you know how to reassure it. Because you've listened to it, you've felt it, you've let it process. And even if we think about the emotion that part of you is holding on to, that's an energy cycle that hasn't completed yet. So when you let yourself feel the emotion, whatever fear, inadequacy or pain happened, when you let yourself feel it, the energy cycle can complete. And then it can start to leave your body, basically. Mm-hmm. So once you've let them vent, then you reassure them. This is like where things start to get really nice and they get lighter and lighter. So you say to them, I'm here for you. I love you. I see you. I'm never going to leave you alone again. I'm sorry I pushed you in the dark. I cherish you. You're a part of me. And if you're doing this in a meditation, you might actually start to see that part of you changes. They start to brighten up and they start to feel safe to let go of this old way of thinking. And you can tell them anything they need to hear to feel safe in letting go of this old belief or this old idea. And then you'll notice that their energy is shifted completely. The whole thing will have freed up. You can give that part of you something new to focus on. So you can say,
like what?
Instead of, for example, instead of telling me, you know, I'm just a stupid girl who doesn't know what she's doing, you can back me up and give me like more reasons as to why I do know what I'm doing. You can remind me of all the reasons why I am capable. You can remind me of all the times that I have been capable. Because that part of you is a part of you and they need a role. And so that's the whole process. It doesn't take very long. It doesn't take a whole lot of time or energy. And it is so transformative. It just takes courage and the humility and honesty to just really look at yourself.
Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoy this and you want more inspirational content, make sure to click the subscribe button below and click right here to watch what's coming next.